Oh yeah. All right. So I'm going to be reviewing season 3 of Futurama today. I have episode 8 and episode 9. The titles will be in the description. So the first one is. See, I keep running into this issue with these episodes. It seems like, but they come in bunches. So it seems like I'll go for a period where I'm like, where I kind of remember this episode, kind of don't remember this episode, and then every once in a while I'll see an episode like, man, I haven't seen the episode in so long. And these episodes fall into the other category. I've seen these a lot, especially the first one. I think I've seen the first one a couple of times. Maybe I haven't seen it a couple of times, but I've seen it. But I've so familiar with that time frame they're trying to reach, kind of. I guess it's a look into excuse me. It's a look into older Hollywood, if you will. Um, Apparently Zoidberg's was it grandfather or great uncle? I can't remember. The older relative of his is one of an old silent movie star. Now they're kind of, I wouldn't say they're being lazy with this particular one, but they're kind of reaching because they're making an assumption that, or maybe not making an assumption. They're saying that even though this happened in the past, but technically it will be the future for anybody watching it. Um, Everything in the past is considered old and antiquated, I guess. But it would be our future, so it would be futuristic for us. So they basically just redesigned and pieced together things from like the turn of the century and then put some newer technology with it, which is pretty cool because they had the only way to play one of his older relatives movies was like it's like a laser disc slash CD that he takes out of a sheath and then puts on I don't know I don't know what you call it. It's like an old record player, but with the horn that sticks out in the air, of like really from the turn of the century type stuff. But inside that horn is a lens, and you put the lens down, and it's like a projector. So it's kind of inventive, but it's just taking pieces from here and there from all different types of decades and technology and making something happen out of it, and continued to make the joke. I'm the only reason I'm being so critical of it because I've watched this episode or I've seen this episode quite a few times. It's just one of those episodes that came up that I've seen this more than 20 times. Doesn't make it a bad episode. I was actually laughing through it. I'm trying to remember, is there any phrases in this one that stuck out? Um, let's see here. Oh, what's his name? Calculon, the robot actor in the soap opera. He's in here. He makes an appearance in this episode. He does some more of his trademark horrible acting, which I don't know. Every time I see him, I get a kick out of it. Overly dramatic. Oh God, no! I just think that stuff is that I find that funny. Um, but yeah, this episode, uh, basically Zorberg wants to be a stand-up comedian, but he's not good, so he tries to call on his older relative, who was a famous comedic actor. But famous comedic actor, he's falling on hard times basically. Not popular, doesn't have any more money. He thinks Zoidberg being a doctor would have money, but Zoidberg doesn't have any money, so they wind up getting Calculon to uh, fund a movie. The movie's a bust, and then they wind up uh, basically rigging the Oscars, which I think is a jab at the Oscars. I think they're taking a jab at the Oscars in this particular episode. It's hard not to feel that way about the Oscars because it's something that's so uh, it's so there can be so many right answers in a situation like this because every human being is different. So it's going to be really hard to find a movie or a show or something like that, in this case, a movie, it's going to be really hard to find a movie that everybody likes. People are going to like parts about it, but not everybody's going to say, well, that deserves Best Picture. It's impossible. It's impossible to find something like that. Now, they can get it completely wrong, like especially considering the last Oscars, they had like one movie that came out of nowhere. I think I don't want to get it wrong, but I think the movie that they wound up giving the best picture actually deserved it because something completely different. Because I think before all this chaos took place or is taking place in the world right now, before all this happened, um, American cinema, I'll go ahead and say it if nobody else will, was definitely in a slump. I mean, the only high points to speak of were comic book based movies. And if you're watching this, you know I do not enjoy watching the same genre over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Granted, I don't have that deep of connection towards these comic books as some people do, but I like variety. I think it's necessary, especially when it comes to entertainment. I can't just be shoehorned into one genre and survive off that forever. But anyway, maybe I went a little too far off. I think I even forgot where I was at in this episode. It wasn't bad, but I'm gonna rate it low because I've seen it several times. They wind up having a touching moment at the end. Now, let's go on to the next one. So the next one is pretty unique. It involves Bender. Bender's the main character in this one. And Leela is what is she in this one? So she winds up being like they're poking fun at animal rights activists and activists in general, which I think is if you poke fun at anybody, as long as it's funny, hey, anybody's fair game, as long as it's funny. It has to be funny, and this one is funny. Bender winds up having some type of malfunction where he thinks he's a penguin after he crashes a oil tanker and spills out all well, in this case, dark matter everywhere. uh, and he winds up finding a mate and having chicklets, which is impossible. Maybe she was pregnant before he. I don't know. Look, I'm trying to figure it out too much. I'm going too deep. Going a little too deep. But it was a funny episode. I haven't seen this one that many times. I don't think. I do remember it, but I haven't seen it as much as the previous episode. Um, but yeah, Bender winds up before Bender turns gets a malfunction and thinks he's a penguin. He winds up becoming captain because Leela refuses to fly this mission because wants to save the planet or whatever or whatnot, or keep the planet, sustain the planet, put it like that. Which I don't think is nothing wrong in real life. Yeah, that's pretty important. It's actually at the top, very important. But this is a fictional world, and they make a joke about that. They're using things that are harming the planet, and Leo's like, "Don't you want to save the planet?" He said, Bender said something like, "So," was like, "Yeah, but we got other ones," something like that. Makes that joke. I think everybody thinks that like nobody's gonna get on a spaceship and fly outer space and occupy another planet and make a new Earth or anything like that. We only got one. Whatever. It's not even. That's this right here. This is one of the shining. I'm misusing words. This is one of the best examples of this show. It gets you talking about real life struggles. It entertains you at the same time, but it gets you talking about real life struggles. That's why I like this series so much. But yeah, Bender winds up putting on like a Napoleon hat or something like that, or just like it had to be like an English or French or commander's hat and Leela's coat and all things. I just think it was funny. He feels like, and then he's talking pirate talk too at the same time. So it's like I don't know. He's all confused. Um, I think it's. I liked the episode. It wasn't overly bad. I'm trying to think. Was there any more gems in that episode? Oh, I can't recall anything except Bender turning into thinking he was a penguin. He snaps out of it eventually, and then uh, after he leads up a uprising of penguins against people trying to kill him because they start overpopulating. So you see, there's so many different conversation starters in this particular episode. Um, I just think they do. I just think it's a good episode overall. It's one of the, it's for that it's one of the better episodes because it gets you thinking. Yeah, sometimes you want to think, sometimes you just want to laugh. This offers both, so I'll give you that. This episode is probably one of the better episodes. So till tomorrow.